Hey buddy, I made this bowl of fruit.
Listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roar, as you glide along the woodland, over the hills and by the shore. Hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome rollers call. Travel.
Different dogs have different needs, like skin and coat, mobility support, and healthy digestion. That's why Ein's Advanced Health has different formulas.
So, it happened. CP2816 made it from Calgary, Alberta to Mexico City. Yeah, you heard me right. Mexico. Now, I don't know about you, but the footage of this thing coming from Mexico looks like it came straight from hell, bro. When the tour was first announced, it was pretty obvious Mexico was gonna be a bad idea. Someone as far into denial as to say that it, quote-unquote, couldn't possibly be happening. They'll probably go just past the border and turn around. But no, CP2816 in the Final Spike tour did indeed venture 700 miles deep into Mexico. And oh boy, has some crap gone down along the way. One of the first videos I found out of Mexico was this one by Detector KCSM. And the first thing you notice is how many people are standing directly on the ballast and on the rails themselves. Many of them do clear, of course, but they are still way too close even after getting off the ballast. I've seen my fair share of idiots standing way too close to the tracks for something even as little as a GEVO here in the United States, and I was kind of under the impression that we were some of the worst as far as respecting railroad right-of-way. But no, these people down in Mexico clearly have even less of an idea on how to behave. Obviously, nobody gets hit in this instance, so I suppose all is well. Except a little later, a video is captured of this woman whose phone gets knocked out of her hand by the train. As we all know, a phone isn't very big, so if a train knocks your phone out of your hand, you were probably inches, literally inches, away from death. And, speaking of death, this is kind of dark, just to be warned. There actually did end up being an incident where someone found out what happens when you attempt to take a selfie with a train traveling, based from the video, probably at least 40 miles an hour, maybe less. I won't show the full thing because obviously that's much too disturbing for YouTube. The video's out there for you to view, and at the beginning to screaming and for sure. There really isn't much coverage from mainstream news articles, probably because it happened in Mexico. If it had happened in the US, it'd be a totally different story. According to these articles by small journalists I have managed to find, CPKC responded to the incident saying, quote, "We are deeply saddened by this loss of life and wish to express our condolences to the woman's family and loved ones. For their own safety and that of the crews, all spectators looking at any train must always remain at least 10 meters back from the train and the track. Spectators must never stand on railway tracks, try to board rail equipment, or climb on rail infrastructure. Always use caution around tracks and trains." End quote. I'm sure that came straight from the empty void of a soul that is the corporate billionaires at CPKC, and they don't give a single crap. But man, if only they tried harder to avoid something like this, especially given all the close calls reported well before this incident throughout all of Mexico. It pretty much took the ultimate price for them to finally take a little more caution, as can be seen here. I can't believe I'm witnessing 6 people in a chain in front of the locomotive plowing through this crowd of thousands who don't know they have to be at the bare minimum off the ballast to not get decapitated by this train. Just crazy. We see another clip here just out of Mexico City, this time kind of more on the funny side, but it's still a terrible thing to do, where this bro seriously thinks he's him. Just look at this. Yeah, not quite the main character boarding I was expecting either. Nice try though, you know. I don't know, maybe he is him. And of course, we have people climbing all over the locomotive and equipment, ignoring instructions clearly stated from CPKC. Maybe it's just me, but thinking of how glorious, like, say the Minot departure, for just one example, was all those weeks ago with that beautiful morning light and that great North Dakota scenery versus this, it just feels almost sad. I don't know, it's just a machine, but the Empress deserves better than this. Thanks for watching, leave a like to help CP2816 escape Mexico once and for all, subscribe so I reach 10k, and thank you so much to my channel members. Isaiah Vandy, Josh Norston,
through tunnels, over bridges, and past countless cities, towns, and neighborhoods. CSX operates trains up and down the East Coast, and the rails they ride have to be inspected and maintained to make sure everyone stays safe and there are no disruptions. Coming up, we'll look at the trains and even special boxcars that help CSX get the job done. All that and more is next. Another day and another northbound freight train is headed out of Atlanta, Georgia. There's nothing all that special about this mixed freight, well, aside from an unusual boxcar that appears to have a laser pointing down at the tracks. The boxcar itself isn't all that remarkable, well, aside from the giant do not hump warning, but housed inside is some of the latest track inspection technology. Here's a better look at the car, named ATAC 8 by CSX. And ATAC stands for Autonomous Track Assessment Car. Behind what looks like an office-style door on the end are electronics for measuring things like track gauge or the distance between the rails, track profile or vertical change in the rails, alignment, which is horizontal change in the rails, cross level or the difference in elevation between the tops of the rails. Curves are typically super elevated while straight track should be flat, and warp, which is the difference in cross level between 2 points. Now, the red laser beam shining under the bottom of the car measures track gauge and cross level. And all the data that's gathered can be sent back wirelessly to the cellular modem as the car rolls along. And if a defect is found, it's put in CSX's computer system for repair. On top, solar panels provide the car with electricity. And a feature you can't see is the concrete that's been added to increase the car's weight. This makes it ride better so the equipment gets a good reading as it goes along the tracks. Of course, these huge letters saying "Do not hump" remind railroaders that this car cannot go through a hump yard where impacts with other cars could damage the sensitive equipment on board. Okay, so there aren't all that many of these autonomous box cars in use just yet, so you may have never seen one, but there is a chance you've seen a manned inspection train. In a past video, I showed you this. It's called a Sperry car, and it also inspects the rails and gathers data. Specifically, Sperry cars have been known for decades for using induction testing to find defects in the steel rails themselves. And they've now advanced to using ultrasonic testing. But CSX also has its own fleet of trains and rail cars that inspect the tracks. This one looks like a short passenger train and is a bit out of place on CSX's Abbeville subdivision, a line that only sees freight traffic.
00104 leading to CSX 625, stopped on the main track, SG5, 63.2, southbound.
I saw this thing as it waited on a northbound freight train in Tucker, Georgia in December of 2023.
That crossing, y'all like celebrities.
The train consists of 3 cars. Up front, a coach labeled for a fallen flag. This is the Southern Pacific Birch Grove. My understanding is that this is used for crew quarters.
W00104, SXT 6025, southbound, main track, clear signal, South Bend, Tucker.
Coupled to the Birch Grove is the business end of the train, a converted Santa Fe car now housing a generator and a car unit. PGC2, PGC3, a huge like this, although that